in the autumn of 1888, a shadow fell over the gaslit streets of London's East End, the district of Whitechapel. A labyrinth of dark alleys and overcrowded slums became the hunting ground for a phantom of unimaginable brutality. This was a time of terror, a time when a nameless predator would carve his name into history with a blade. He would come to be known as Jack the Ripper. The terror began on August 31st with the murder of Mary Ann Nichols. Her body was discovered in a dark laneway, her throat savagely cut. Just over a week later, on September 8th, the killer struck again. Annie Chapman was found in the backyard of a tenement building, her injuries even more horrific. The city was gripped by fear, but the worst was yet to come. On the night of September 30th, the Ripper committed what is known as the double event. First, Elizabeth Stride was found, her throat cut but her body otherwise intact, suggesting the killer may have been interrupted. Less than an hour later, and only a short walk away, Catherine Eddowes was discovered. Her murder was marked by extreme mutilation, escalating the killer's ferocity. The final canonical victim, Mary Jane Kelly, was murdered on November 9th. The scene inside her small room on Miller's Court was a vision of pure horror, a level of butchery that defied comprehension. These 5 women, the canonical 5, were all impoverished, living on the margins of society. Their lives a daily struggle for survival even before they crossed paths with a monster. Scotland Yard was in a state of chaos. The police force, unequipped for such a methodical and savage series of crimes, scrambled for clues. Inspector Frederick Aberline, a seasoned detective, was brought in to lead the manhunt on the ground. He and his men faced immense challenges: a dense, transient population, a lack of forensic science, and a killer who left no witnesses and seemingly vanished into the fog. The public's frustration grew, leading local businessmen to form the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, led by George Lusk. They organized private patrols, offered a reward, and tried to pressure the police into action. The investigation was further complicated by a deluge of letters sent to the police and press, supposedly from the killer himself. The most famous of these, the Dear Boss letter, was the first to use the name Jack the Ripper, creating a media sensation. Another chilling piece of correspondence, the From Hell letter, arrived with a small box containing half a human kidney, allegedly taken from one of the victims. Whether these letters were genuine or cruel hoaxes remains a point of debate, but they undeniably fueled the public's terror and cemented the Ripper's legendary status. Over the years, a gallery of suspects has emerged from the shadows of history. The theories are as numerous as the cobbled streets of Whitechapel. There was Montague John Druitt, a barrister and schoolteacher whose body was found in the River Thames shortly after the last murder. His own family suspected him, but the evidence was purely circumstantial. Then there was Aaron Kasaminski, a Polish-Jewish immigrant who worked as a hairdresser in Whitechapel. He suffered from severe mental illness and had a known hatred of women, and was a key suspect for senior police officials at the time. Another prominent figure was Surin Kolosowski, also known as George Chapman, a poisoner who was executed for murdering 3 of his wives. Inspector Aberline himself reportedly favored Chapman as the Ripper after his conviction. Other theories have pointed to doctors, artists, and even members of the royal family. Yet, for every compelling argument, there is a counter-argument. No suspect has ever been definitively proven to be Jack the Ripper. The identity of the man who terrorized London remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in criminal history. The murders stopped as abruptly as they began. But the legend of Jack the Ripper was just getting started. He became the world's first celebrity serial killer, a bogeyman created not just by his crimes, but by the sensationalist press of the era. The case had a profound impact. It exposed the horrifying poverty of London's East End to the wider world, leading to social reforms. For law enforcement, it highlighted the desperate need for more sophisticated investigative techniques, paving the way for the birth of modern criminology and forensic science. Today, more than a century later, the name Jack the Ripper still conjures images of fog, fear, and a shadowy figure with a top hat and a bag. He is a ghost of history, a puzzle with missing pieces, a terrifying reminder that some monsters are real and some mysteries may never be solved. The question of who he was continues to haunt us, ensuring that the autumn of terror in 1888 will never truly be forgotten. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into one of history's darkest chapters compelling, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into the mysteries of the past.